Hello and welcome back to Talk Pitchside. I am your host, PJ, solo today. No Tony, so it'll be me just going through the games that happened here on Wednesday, and then we'll talk about a couple preview games that I'm excited for the weekend. So appreciate you joining in. Not much news has happened between here and last time we spoke in terms of transfers, except for one major one that broke earlier today. Sebastian Berhalter going from the Vancouver Whitecaps to Middlesbrough in the championship in England. Significant move for the Whitecaps. Totally changes their season. I mean, Sebastian Berhalter was playing as one of the, if not the best, one of the best midfielders in the league. So huge loss for the Vancouver Whitecaps in terms of just production and consistency and depth. We will talk about their game later against FC Cincinnati. I think we saw that to a degree. So I'm concerned for the Whitecaps in terms of MLS Cup expectations. We'll see if they can get somebody to come in the meantime, but there's not a ton of roster flexibility there to replace a guy like him that was on the deal that he was on. He had 5 months left in his contract, so they only got $2 million in the transfer fee, which I feel for Vancouver a little bit in that scenario. Feels like a miss from their front office to last year not get a deal done, an extension, with like a promise that we will still sell you on if an offer comes that we feel comfortable with, because then they wouldn't be sitting with this situation where they have to sell him before he walks away for free in 5 months for a fee that could have been 5 times what it is for a player like Sebastian Berhalter coming off the World Cup like he just did. So it's unfortunate. I'm sad for the MLS, but I'm happy for the man that is Sebastian Berhalter getting this opportunity to go to Middlesbrough. So I'm excited to watch him and Aiden Morris be the middle field pivot for a championship side, hoping to get promoted to the Premier League. That should be a ton of fun to watch this year. Of course, they were teammates back in the day for the Columbus youth team, so they know each other. They're great friends. I think that's a fun story mixed into all of this. So something to keep an eye on. So significant news in the shakeup of the Western Conference of the MLS for Sebastian Berhalter now being on the move. So just want to make sure we touched on that before we got into the games here. If you want to react to that, please respond in the comments at your reaction. How do you think that affects the Vancouver Whitecaps and their championship goals? Because I think it drops them significantly for what he offered for that team specifically. So it will be an interesting watch going forward. Okay, well, let's get into some of these games. A lot of upsets, a lot of interesting games, a lot of unexpected results, and it turned out to be a great first full slate to tune into for the MLS coming back from the World Cup. Of course, the tagline, "We'll take it from here, world," which is now just being iconically memed over and over. So whoever came with that one, thank you very much. I just appreciate you memeing our league for more than what it is already. And we'll get into what caused that here in a moment. We'll start here with the Columbus Crew versus NYCFC. You know, this is a transitioning Crew side. They fall 2-1 to NYCFC. Just a tough result for Columbus. I mean, Camacho with the horrible turnover to lead to the second NYCFC goal. They get a pen late, and now Columbus is just kind of in this bizarro state of like we really don't know what they are. So that's unfortunate for Columbus and their transition. Now they're gonna have to go right into the Hell's Real derby against Cincinnati this upcoming weekend. So we'll see what that looks like because Cincinnati's offense has been out of this world since that initial 8 games to start the season. So good for NYCFC. This is one we predicted earlier this week. We thought this was going to be the result that happened, and it did. Unfortunately, it's just where Columbus is right now in terms of injuries, DPs being sold, and guys coming in not quite starting on the first team. So there's just going to be a transitional period here for sure. Moving on to the next one, we have FC Cincinnati, the game me and Tony were at against the Vancouver Whitecaps. Super exciting game. I mean, this game was 3-2 at half. Cincinnati went up 1-0, went down 2-1, back up 3-2, up 4-2, immediately allowing a goal to go to 4-3 in the 60th minute. And at that point, we were kind of guessing in the stands what could this game get up to scoreline wise, and none of us expected a shutout the rest of the 30 minutes, which there really should have been. Both teams had more opportunities, just couldn't put it in the back of the net. I think a great win for FC Cincinnati against one of the best teams in the league. Of course, a team that didn't have Sebastian Berhalter. Thomas Muller didn't start in this one, so that's where it was like it almost turned into you hope to get a point playing Vancouver to, oh man, we should really win this game. So that was, I think, a big result for FC Cincinnati to get. And this attack just continues to torch. I mean, they are getting so many opportunities a game, and they're converting them at such a high rate. And they went from Pat Noonan being called to lose his job because the offense was so bad to now leading the league in goals overall, in like a like 8 game span. Really, that's all it's really been. So it's been a huge turnaround for Cincinnati, above 500 for the first time this year. Like, this is a team that uh, is trending in the right direction. We'll see what they do in the transfer market to continue that. But I think it'll be an interesting watch the rest of the year, and definitely going to be in the playoff mix. The game where I'm talking about, the "we'll take it from here" meme just went nuclear last night, was this Inter Miami game against Chicago. So of course Inter Miami's missing so many people because of injury from international duty, everything under the sun. Of course Messi, Rodrigo De Paul. You have Casemiro's not quite in yet. He got that across the line with Inter Miami officially. So none of those guys are playing. And this game starts. It's a back pass to the goalkeeper, and he completely and Dane St. Clair wasn't playing either. He was on the bench. He completely whiffs and he just rolls to the back of the net. So at that point, you were thinking, oh, this is going to be a rough watch without all of these guys. And then they go off, and Luis Suarez gets a brace, and they get a winner in the 88th minute against Chicago from Blambeck, which is the unlikeliest of heroes. And they get 3 points. And we saw this a few years ago with Messi when he was on international duty injured. Like, this voodoo magic where they just win when Messi's not playing is ridiculous because they have no business winning this game. I mean, Lewandowski's it's his first appearance. You're thinking the mojo around Chicago's going up, and no, they lose outright in their first appearance, which is super disappointing first appearance. And this is the type of stuff that if this continues, it's not going to start, not yet. But if this continues the rest of this year, and say Chicago barely made the playoffs or just got bounced really early, a lot of people are going to point to the Hugh Kuiper's move and just question how they halted the season and really messed with what was working. And I know Lewandowski's the type of guy you don't just miss in terms of you can get him for a transfer, but it's going to be one of those question mark signings if it ends up going poorly and what they just kind of blew up versus what they had going at the time. So interested to see how that one finishes out. But Inter Miami continue to do what they do. New England Revolution Toronto finishes 0-0. I'm not going to go too much in that one, but I mean, just a very expected result from these two teams at this point. I still need to see more to be convinced of anything. The Union get a great win. I mean, they win this one 3-1 against the Red Bulls team that had been playing well going into the break, and the Union are desperate for any type of results at this point. Kai Wagner comes back and starts right away, which I think is a boost for them. The 19, I think he might be younger than 19. Pierre, 18-year-old center back Pierre, Neil Pierre scores for Philadelphia in this one, and that's you're just going to see these young guys start to get chances, which I think is exciting. Kevin Sullivan played again. I mean, played terrific again. Doesn't get a goal and assist, but you're watching it and you're like, this guy's clearly one of the best players on the team. And I think that's the U.S. men's national team thoughts come to mind of wow, what this guy's going to be one day. He's going to go to Man City, see here soon. So that's exciting. So there's just so much on the table for him, and Kai Wagner gets that assist on his debut as well. So Philly needed to start like this, needed to start to turn on the season a little bit. I don't know if that's going to result in the playoffs, but I think they're hoping for at least just some more life in this team to build upon going forward. Charlotte at home versus Atlanta, kind of a mini rivalry here. No, it doesn't really get talked about a ton outside of their teams. Charlotte go up 2-0 and blow this one. They go up 2-0 and it ends in a 2-2 draw. Good for Atlanta. I mean, they've looked competitive in these two games out of break, which I think is a bonus for their fans. We have not seen that consistently. So I'm interested to see if that holds up going forward. But this is a team that has struggled to even have competitiveness in them at times, and for them to come back against this Charlotte side, get 2 goals, get some points on the road. I mean, we talk about all the time. If you do that, you're going to be successful. Almiron gets on the score sheet for the first time, so that was exciting for them to get that going. I don't think we saw St. Maximin in this one? No, he did not feature even off the bench. So still waiting for that debut. Excited for that. Excited to see how that goes. And Charlotte's going to be very much so anticipating that happening here soon. Dynamo and DC draw 1-1. I'm not going to go too much in that one. Hector Herrera is the name to note on this one. I mean, him getting a goal to his name is something I didn't see coming anytime soon. He's still rocking. We got to give him that. And then Ty Brebo, of course, gets the equalizer. So DC does what they need to do on the road, which is get a point. And Houston continues to be a little bit of a head scratcher in terms of like what they are and what we want more of from this team attacking wise. It's just they should be better. Duncan McGuire didn't do much in his debut, so they're gonna need to see more from him going forward. Nashville eked out a win against Montreal. The second game in a row, they've now just eked out a win against a poor side. This penalty was so bad, so soft from the referee, and I think was really rough on Montreal with how they were playing defensively. I think they deserved a point out of this game, and for them not to get that, I feel bad for them. But Nashville, I mean, this is a sign of a good team in Nashville at the same time. Like, they have not played great in the first 2 games, but they have 2 wins. Like that's how a great team wins or I guess a great team showcases their greatness is they win on nights that they play their worst. And that's what they've been doing lately against these teams that are not as great in Montreal and Atlanta. So credit to them. Kansas City gets a win. Love to see that for Kansas City. Joveljic with another goal. I mean, this guy just continues to score for them. So this is a good bounce back win, I think, for them after that St. Louis game to start out the break. They were feeling, I think, like they had made some strides in that game, and this kind of builds on that. So happy for SKC fans. Minnesota, not the start you want to see out of the break. That's a tough result against Kansas City. I know you're on the road, but Kansas City's one of the weaker teams, so you're expecting a result. Austin get a huge 3-1 against Seattle. Seattle's looked really rough out of the break. This is not the Seattle we know and love. That's for sure. And they're dealing with, I know, still more injuries, which they can only control so much. But we need to see more from Seattle. It's looked bleak. Austin, give them all the credit in the world. They dominated this game. I mean, I guess not dominated. Scoreline says they dominated this game, but they got the result, and they got all 3 points at home in a game that I guess one of the better teams in the Western Conference. So they took advantage of a team that's struggling. I mean, Reagan gets a late red card in this too, so he's going to be out. So I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon for Seattle. And credit to Austin getting 2 goals late to shore this one up. Colorado Rapids get a 1-0 victory against San Diego. We came to this one saying these two teams are so similar in how they play. We expected goals, didn't get it. They won this one 1-0. Not even a ton of opportunities for these teams. It looked like 2 teams that were slow to come out of the break. And then Colorado gets a last-minute goal to win this game, like literally last kick of the game. So that's great for those fans. Colorado needed that desperately. San Diego also needed a point desperately. So they're going to have to look to bounce back. But good on Colorado. I mean, they went and took care of business at home. The LA Galaxy get absolutely smoked at home by St. Louis. This was one I had predicted St. Louis, and Tony kind of looked at me sideways, and I think this is like the scenario that I saw could have happened with this team. This Galaxy team is not good. It's just not good. The defensive, how this defense worked is just it just hasn't. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like it just hasn't worked. Like Glesnes and Hack like haven't improved this defense. Royce is not a game changer anymore. Like he's just not. And the St. Louis team made him look silly. I know there was a red card early in the second half, but they had the game at that point regardless. And Galaxy gets like a pity goal at the end. So it credit St. Louis. They come out of the break 2 wins, 6 points out of the break, puts them into playoff position. They've got to be feeling good. They're in that mix of teams, just right there in that like 6 through 10 range. So this is a team they were directly competing with in the playoff spot. So credit to them for getting that win on the road, big win on the road. LAFC continued to dominate. Sun didn't score a goal before the World Cup. Has now scored a goal in back-to-back games, which is huge for them. Against a good RSL side, they didn't have much possession this game. RSL really dominated this game, and really should have done more. They had an own goal. Sun and Buwag both get on the score sheet, and all the chances were with RSL. They had 28 shots, 28 shots in this game, 40 touches in the opposition box. I know XGs and everything, but 2.7 to 1.1 of LAFC. That's just what this LAFC team has done now for so well as counter and just take advantage of the opportunities they do get. And Son of Bouanga are just going to thrive off that. But as an RSL team, they need to see more. They need to see more from the attack and converting. Xavier Gazzo continues to be like my favorite watch right now from the young guys in the league. Like this guy is so good. I'm excited to see where he goes. But yeah, definitely a struggling result from RSL, and need more from the attack, especially that striker position. They definitely need more. So we'll see. Portland gets a 2-2 draw at home against Dallas. This game was thrilling right at the end. Musa puts him up 2-1 in the 88th, and then Mora gets the goal to equalize right at the death. So they're going to be happy out of this one, leaving 2-2. They probably think they should have gotten more out of it. They had way more chances than Dallas did in terms of quality, so they're going to be disappointed they didn't get a goal. But Kevin Kelsey continues to score goals. I mean, it's been an impressive season for him so far. In terms of like, I want to check it because he has 8 goals in the season in 16 games. Like for what he is and what you're paying him, just a U22 contract, like that is one of the best contracts in the league right now. And he comes from Cincinnati, who moved on from him because they had other attacking talent, and you've got to be pumped if you're Portland the way that he's been shining, because he may even be able to be sold on eventually for a good fee if he does keep on going at this rate. So credit to Portland. They get the result late to at least get a point of that one. Probably wish they got more, but at least they weren't leaving that one after the 88th minute goal with nothing. I mean, that could have been a killer to that team. So good on them. Last game of the night, San Jose at Orlando. Game I was pumped for. Went to bed a little bit after half because this one was over quick. Orlando went up 2-0 early. Griezmann gets his first goal in the MLS early in the second half. Ojeda seals it off 4-0. I mean, this was a domination of a game. Kind of the type of game I'm a little worried about San Jose and what they are. Like, this is why I was clamoring for them to get a DP during this window. I hope they still do. They still have a lot of time to do so. So I think that they will, but they definitely need one. I mean, they just need more talent. They really do. I mean, this is a great story. This might just be a blip, but we'll see. I'm concerned because this Orlando's defense has been so bad, and they were at home and couldn't get anything. Like, that's just concerning. Really cool to see Griezmann on the score sheet. Good finish, good touch. Clearly, he's bringing life to this team right now. Like that's just he is brought new life in this team, and they're excited to get going. So that's going to do it for in terms of recap for this Wednesday slate. A couple games that I'm excited for. I'm not going to go into too deep of an analysis here, but do a quick coverage here. Hell is Real, of course. That's going to be a ton of fun. Not as much juice as there usually is because where Columbus is at right now, and FC Cincinnati was also mid in the first half, so we'll see. FC Cincinnati, I anticipate to be all over them attacking wise, but I can't see a world they blow them out. Like, this is still like a rivalry. These guys are going to be up for it. So I think it's going to be a tight, good game. I'm excited for that one. Going down the list here, Orlando, Nashville, another super fun matchup. Griezmann against these guys, seeing if this is not just like a fluke this past week against San Jose, but if they can keep it going against the Nashville side, I feel really good about them. NYCFC against Chicago. NYCFC is good. They're good. They're revamping their attack, and they're only going to get better as guys get healthy. Chicago needs to figure it out. Sooner people are going to be scratching their head. I would love to see Leo again on the score sheet for them. Continuing down late games, we've got San Jose LA Galaxy. Interesting game. I think some of the juice is taken out of it because of how bad LA's been. But San Jose was going to need a result, so they're going to be up for that one. Portland RSL, I'm also like sneaky interested in watching because this Portland side has looked better. RSL needs a win; they need a result, and I need to see more from them going forward. Besides that, there's kind of some okay matchups this weekend. I think Hell is Real is definitely the highlight, alongside the Orlando Nashville game. Are probably the two games I would recommend tuning in for. In the 8:30 slot, St. Louis, Colorado, I think is an exciting game based on how these two teams started out of the break. I mean, St. Louis can get a third win in 3 games. I'm gonna feel way different. Like, a lot differently about this team because I think I had a lot of question marks, and Hartel's coming out playing fantastic, and if he can keep that up, I'm going to feel really good about them. So those are the games I'm most interested in. If I had to pick the results in those games, I'm going to go Cincinnati on the road. Yes, I'm biased, but I also just think they are better in this matchup. I'm going to go a draw in the Orlando Nashville game. I think those two teams are pretty even. I, or not even, but I think I could see them being even on this day based on how Nashville's looked and how Orlando looked. NYCFC, I think, is going to take down Chicago, and I think there could be some question marks around that team, some concerns, big time. St. Louis, I'm going to go with at home. I'm going to say they are going to win their third game. Like, I love the way they're attacking right now. It is a ton of fun to watch. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to go a draw between Portland and RSL. I think that's a high scoring game. I think we're going to see that one be like 2-2. So that's one to tune in for the late slate. And then San Jose, LA Galaxy. I'm going to go San Jose. I think they get a bounce back. This Galaxy side, I have no faith in. Once again, we've gotten to this spot. I don't know how I've gotten here again, but I just have no faith in this team. I I don't know if they're going to switch up coach. I don't know how it's going to look, but something's not right. I know injuries have played a huge factor. Peck is gone, but there's just a lot of question marks around this team right now that I'm concerned about. Okay, well, we will see you guys on Tuesday to recap everything that happened. Tony will be also solo in that one because I'm going out of town for the week. So we appreciate you guys dealing with our solo cast here for a couple episodes, but we are excited. We appreciate you guys tuning in, listening, in for these solo casts, listening to a quicker recap and a quicker preview of what's to come for the week. So double feature, made it quick. Hopefully this is a quick listen for you to get some feedback, what happened in the league, what's going on going forward. And with that being said, Tony will see you on Tuesday with the weekend recap and everything that happened.